We stood there breathing hard, facing each other across the wreckage of our childhood bedroom. The silence stretched between us, heavy with years of unspoken hurt. "I used to hate you," Mia said quietly. "When we were kids, I used to lie in bed and listen to you practicing languages in your room, hearing how happy you sounded when you got the pronunciation right. And I hated you because you got to be happy about learning something, while I had to be perfect at everything or face their disappointment. I used to hate you too," I admitted. "I hated how easy everything seemed for you, how proud they were, how you never had to beg for attention or approval because it was just given. It wasn't easy," she whispered. "None of it was easy. When I got to Harvard, I couldn't remember the last time I'd done something because I wanted to do it. I couldn't remember what I actually liked, what I was actually good at when no one was watching. I was just this hollow shell of achievements with nothing inside." The fight went out of me all at once. I sank down onto my old bed, looking at my sister, really looking at her for the first time in years. She wasn't the golden child anymore. She wasn't the perfect daughter or the family trophy. She was just Mia, scared and broken and trying to figure out who she was when the applause stopped. "When I started drinking," she continued, sitting down across from me, "it was the first time in my life I felt like I was making my own choice, even if it was a terrible choice, even if it was destroying everything. It was mine." "Is that why you're angry at me?" "Because I made my own choice too." She was quiet for a long moment, wiping her eyes with the back of her hand. "I'm angry because you were braver than me, because you saw what this family was doing to us and you chose yourself. And I stayed. I kept trying to be perfect even though it was killing me. I was so jealous that you just left. I didn't feel brave," I said. "I felt abandoned and scared and so angry I could barely breathe." "Where did you go?" she asked softly. "When you left, where did you go?" So I told her about the studio apartment and Mrs. Rodriguez, about working 3 jobs and applying for scholarships in library, computer labs, about Stanford and the professors who knew my name, about languages that felt like coming home, about building a life piece by piece with my own hands. "You did it," she said when I finished. "You actually did it. You became someone." "So did you," I said. "Look at you. You're not performing anymore. You're not trying to be perfect. You're real." She laughed, a sound caught between sob and relief. "Real and completely fucked up. Welcome to the club. I hear the membership fees are terrible, but the freedom is worth it." We sat there for a while, just breathing the same air for the first time in years. Outside, I could hear our parents talking in low voices downstairs, probably about how to handle their 2 broken daughters. "I'm sorry," Mia said eventually, "for all of it, for being angry at you instead of them, for not seeing how alone you were, for not standing up and saying that what they did was wrong. I'm sorry too," I said, "for leaving you here to deal with their expectations alone, for not trying harder to connect with you when we were kids, for thinking you had it easy when you were just as trapped as I was." "Different cages," she said. "Same lock," I replied. She smiled then, the first real smile I'd seen from her in years. "Can I hug you?" I know that's weird to ask, but I feel like I should ask. I opened my arms, and she fell into them like she'd been waiting her whole life for permission. We held each other tight, two sisters who'd been strangers in their own home, finally finding their way back to each other. "I miss you so much," she whispered into my shoulder. "I missed having a sister who knew me before I became their project." "I missed you too," I said, and meant it. I missed having someone who understood what it was like to live in this house. When we finally let go, something fundamental had shifted between us. We weren't the golden child and the invisible one anymore. We were just Emma and Mia, 2 young women trying to figure out how to be human after a childhood that had taught us to be performances instead. Graduation day arrived like redemption, dressed in navy blue and gold. I hadn't told my parents about the ceremony. Why would I? They'd made their priorities clear years ago, and I wasn't among them. I planned to walk alone, celebrate alone, move on alone. But Stanford had other plans. Emma Miller, the dean announced, graduating magna cum laude, recipient of the International Relations Excellence Award, fluent in 5 languages, bound for graduate school at Oxford on full fellowship. The applause was thunderous. I walked across the stage in my rented cap and gown, shook hands with professors who knew my name, accepted awards I'd earned with my own effort. In the audience, I caught sight of Mrs. Patterson, beaming like a proud aunt, and in the back, almost hidden behind a pillar, I saw them. My parents sat frozen in their seats, looking like people who'd wandered into the wrong movie. Beside them, Mia wore sunglasses indoors and fidgeted with her program. When they called my name for the graduate school fellowship announcement, I walked to the podium with hands that barely trembled. Thank you. I said into the microphone, my voice carrying across the auditorium. To those who never believed in me, thank you. You taught me how to believe in myself. To those who wrote me off, thank you. You taught me how to write my own story. And to those who underestimated me, I paused, finding my parents' faces in the crowd. Thank you for teaching me that the only validation that matters is the kind you give yourself. The crowd erupted. Standing ovation. Cheers from classmates who'd watched me work 3 jobs while maintaining A 4.0 GPA. Pride from professors who'd seen me transform from invisible girl to confident woman. In the back row, my parents remained seated, stunned into stillness. But Mia was on her feet, applauding through tears I could see even from the stage. She found me afterward, pushing through the crowd of congratulations and photography sessions. Her sunglasses were gone now, revealing eyes that were red-rimmed but clear. Emma, she said, and her voice broke on my name. God, I'm so proud of you. We stood there for a moment, sisters separated by 4 years of silence and a lifetime of different expectations. Around us, families celebrated their graduates with flowers and restaurant reservations. We had each other, and that felt like enough. I was the one with all the chances. Mia continued, tears flowing freely now. All the support, all the resources, all the attention. And I still ruined it. But you became everything I couldn't. You didn't ruin anything, I said, stepping closer. They did. To both of us. How can you not hate me? I thought about that question, really thought about it. How could I not hate the sister who'd been chosen over me? Who'd received everything I'd been denied? Because, I said finally, you were just as trapped as I was. Your cage was just prettier. She laughed, a sound caught between sob and relief. I missed you so much. I missed you too. We hugged then, right there in the Stanford quad. While our parents watched from a distance, uncertain and uninvited. It wasn't forgiveness, not entirely. Too much had been broken for easy repair. But it was recognition. It was choosing each other over the system that had tried to turn us into competition. What happens now? Mia asked. Now, I said, we figure out who we are when no one's watching. The letter I wrote to our parents was short. We both deserve better than what you gave us. You lost to daughters trying to raise trophies. Don't contact us unless you're ready to meet the people we actually became, not the people you wanted us to be. I never sent it. In the end, silence felt more powerful than words. Mia and I kept in touch through text messages and video calls. She moved to Portland, got a job at a nonprofit, started therapy. Slowly, carefully, she began building a life that belonged to her instead of our parents' expectations. I went to Oxford, then to the UN, then to a dozen countries, where my languages opened doors and my hard-won confidence opened minds. I became the person I'd glimpsed in that library corner years ago, multilingual, multicultural, and afraid of being underestimated. 5 years later, our parents reached out. A Facebook message from Mom. We'd love to reconnect. We're proud of both our daughters. I read it twice, then deleted it without responding. 6 months after that, they tried again. A card in the mail. Forwarded through 3 address changes. Family should stick together. Mia called me that night. Did you get it too? Yeah. What do you think? I looked out the window of my apartment in Geneva, where I was working on refugee resettlement protocols in 4 languages, building the kind of life I'd once only dreamed of. I think, I said, that we already have a family. Each other. Last year, Mia and I opened a foundation together. We call it Invisible Girls. Scholarships and support for young women who've been overlooked, underestimated, or overshadowed by family dynamics. We fund gap years for burned out, perfectionists, and college. Dreams for forgotten daughters. Our first recipient was a quiet girl from Ohio, whose parents had spent her college fund on her brother's failed business venture. She sent us a photo from her graduation, cap and gown, valedictorian sash, and a smile that could power cities. The best revenge, we learned, isn't proving people wrong. It's becoming who you were meant to be all along.